Hey there, Adrian. Let's just do a quick test to see if it
Hello?
actually works.
Yeah,
Awesome. Yes. Perfect.
Can
welcome,
anyone
Adrian.
hear me? Just trying to verify. Let me see.
Yes.
Yep. Sounds clean.
All right, give me 1 second here. Okay, 1 second. All right, so I'm gonna have to leave the computer and do this from the phone, I guess. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we've tested it before and it works way, way better with the phone.
Yeah.
Didn't,
So I got the phone right here. I'm trying to put the phone on speaker, but no big deal, man. We can
yeah,
go like this. How's it going?
awesome. Doing pretty well. What about you?
Good, man. Really happy to be here with you guys. And, it's only right that we do our first AMA with you because, I mean, you guys, like I said before last time we were talking, you guys were the first ones to reach out to us and, just kind of be like, hey, welcome to the Kadena community. Let us know if you have any questions. So, I mean, thanks for that. Made us feel right at home from the get-go.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear.
Yeah, nice to hear, man.
Thanks. So,
So I think we can,
go ahead.
yeah, we can already proceed, I think. I mean, the space is recorded anyways, so for
Mhm.
people who are not here or who can't tune in right now, they can listen to it later. So yeah, let's get this thing started.
Cool. You guys want to do a
Yeah,
quick
man.
introduction on yourselves first, or should I start?
Yeah. Welcome again, everyone. Nice to have you. We'll start by introducing ourselves.
Mhm.
So some of you might already know me from Telegram or Discord and might have been chatting with me. I'm Robin. A Kadena ambassador for over a year now. I created this Twitter account with two other ambassadors back in March of last year. And ever since we have grown massively. And I actually never expected it to get this big, to be honest. And I just want to use this opportunity to thank the community for the support ever since. With me today is Matteo from KadenaSwiss and also Adrian from Docushield. But we'll start with Matteo, who will introduce himself, and then we go over to Adrian to see what Docushield is about and so forth and so on.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Robin. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know me yet, my name is Matt or Matteo. And as you can imagine from my Twitter profile, I'm based in Switzerland near Zurich. I've been involved with Kadena since like August of 2021. Funnily enough, I saw another Kadena account on Twitter called Kadena Sweden, and then figured, hey, why shouldn't I open my own Twitter channel? Just post about anything related to Kadena. And so I did that and rapidly became very active. And that's when I got noticed by Robin. And yeah, then basically started helping him out with maintaining the KadenaCommunity account because there's a lot of things you have to do there. And since then I've been helping and then been active in various other projects. And yeah, can't wait for the future of the entire ecosystem.
Cool. As I said before, we go over to Adrian and tell us about yourself and a bit about Docushield.
Sure. All right. So my name is Adrian Marquez. I'm right here in Southern California. So right about now it's 10 a.m. for us. I think for you guys it's evening, right? About 7 p.m., something like that. Yeah, the global times in crypto. It's something to get used to. But I've been in tech for a long time, always had I didn't really have a computer as a kid, so I was always really interested when we went into computer class and seeing how's this web page put together, how is the text and images all working, and it was always something far out to me. But when I finally got my own machine at about 17 18, I just took the full dive in, went and started working with CSS, HTML, things like that. Fast forward a few years, I got a job in tech, doing training for a software company who does marketing automation called Mindfire. And I spent about 7 years doing training for them. So traveling around, being able to just teach different companies and partners how to use our solution, which was really cool. And a lot of the time it was helping them, fix their landing pages and stuff like that. So it really allowed me to brush up on and really refine my front end skills, helping all these companies do something, and then really just get invested in their projects and make sure that, that they were successful, because that meant that, our company was going to be successful. After that, I kind of went in and did the independent thing for a while, doing marketing for different banks and debt consolidation companies. And that's when I really got heavy into the crypto space. So that was around like 2016, 2017, when I got introduced to crypto. And I mean, things were so fresh and so new. And it seemed like there was so much utility around a lot of these coins. Like the first thing I really got into was like Power Ledger, which was decentralized power platform for people like with solar panels who had excess, amounts of energy that they could then send to their neighbor and charge them a fee. But anyway, so I was always really intrigued by the utility behind, what could be done on blockchain. And I just kind of went into it from there. I opened a bar / restaurant in 2019. And that's when when I do something, like I submerge myself in it. So I pulled away from like my independent thing with the marketing and stuff, and I went full in to this new venture in 2019, and completely submerged myself in it. Completely forgot about crypto until the shutdown started happening for COVID. Then I came back and I seen all this cool stuff with DeFi and all these other crazy things that were happening in the space. And yeah, now we're here. I kind of, after that, I never really let go of crypto again. I was just so intrigued by everybody and all the things that are happening. I've tried doing a few other projects and stuff. But I mean, Docushield has really been my main thing. And for people who may not have heard of what we're doing yet, we're pretty much doing like a decentralized personal storage space that has layers and layers of security that, we can probably get into a little bit later here, that just makes it a better solution all around than anything that I see in the space. And I mean, there was tons of stats and stuff about, different breaches of security and all that stuff that happens. And, we want to find a way to kind of get around that and provide a solution that is going to just, make you feel like, okay, cool. I don't have to worry about anybody getting access to whatever those private documents may be, your registration, your birth certificates, whatever. So I hope that sums up my everything.
Yeah,
really quick.
Awesome to hear, man. Yeah, you have a great and broad experience in crypto, as we've heard. But you also got a team. So can you give us an insight of your team and how many team members you have?
Yeah. So my core team, we just onboarded about 5 different moderators for our Telegram and Discord, and that's been awesome. My core team right now, there's 4 of us. So it is myself, is Kadena, who is also on the call right now. She's listening in. But Kadena, I actually met when we started doing the restaurant, and she's just one of these people. She was I was going to be the night manager. I was the person at night who's going to be there shutting everything down, and she was the day person who would like handle the restaurant stuff during the day. And I had never in my life met, I mean, I've worked with people who have, MBAs and stuff. I've never met anyone as organized as Kadena is. So, I mean, just that alone, man. I mean, I'm an eccentric and I tend to get a little messy sometimes and run with one idea or one thing. And, I need somebody to kind of be like, hey, like, let's bring it back and let's focus on this right now. So let's do this, let's settle this, then you can run off. And that's Kadena, man. And so, like I said, I brought her right over from the restaurant, and she's helping me out on this. And I mean, more than helping me out, she's keeping everything in line. And I thank God for her, man. And then I also got Michael Chavez, who is on the line as well. He's our community manager. And Michael, when I was doing my independent marketing, during the slow season, I would go off, do other little random jobs. And I met him. We were both lifeguards together. And Michael was one of the hardest working people that I had ever met. Just a really hard worker. Like, there's a lot of people slacking, and I look around for other people because I want to get things done, for other people like me. And he was always right there, like ready to hustle, ready to get things done. So I brought him over when we started the restaurant or the bar, to come help me out there, and he's just been the most trustworthy and solid person. So naturally brought him over to the Docushield team, and he's been leading up the community side of that. So handling the Discord and Telegram, and who's going to be helping us out, scheduling the times for that, and whatever comes along eventually, as things get heavier, and he's going to help a lot more with running the Twitter and things like that, which he's already doing. So yeah, so that's the core team. I also have one of a developer that I've been working with for a while. His name's Abdur, and I first met him on Upwork. So I've tried a lot of different projects, and tried doing creating a lot of things, not only in crypto but just in software in general. And he's been one of the most solid people I've talked to. He's really ready to give me criticism at any point, which is what I need. So I definitely look for that valuable feedback. And so that's our core team. Besides that, we're working with a few other developers and a few other people on a contract level. But that's our core team at the moment, and we're definitely looking. If anybody out there is listening and is familiar with the space, or is a dev and is looking for an opportunity, give us a call or give us a holler. It might be a good fit. Always looking to add to the team and to grow something great.
Sounds awesome.
Nice.
And I'm sure that the team is going to grow quite fast in the future. So definitely looking forward to that.
Definitely.
So about the project a bit, maybe you can, for people who haven't read the white paper yet, can you maybe name some specific roadmap targets that you have for the project?
Sure. Yeah. Well, all of our Q1 roadmap items have been completed. So the front end is pretty much done. Me being a front end developer, I was able to pretty much design the app and get it functioning on a level where the things are working. For the most part. Now we're at a part where we're really going to implement the smart contracts. So the project really started. I got a book full of ideas and things that I just write down and try to make sense of. So Docushield was one of those things that came to life when my first kid was born, and I all of a sudden have all this paperwork that's extremely important and private that I really care about. I mean, I don't want it getting out. I don't want his identity getting stolen. I don't want to lose it. All the healthcare info's in there and stuff. So I'm thinking like, damn, like what do I do? Where do I put this stuff? I can store it away, but what if this happens? What if that happens? And I'm not a paranoid person, but it suddenly made me paranoid. And then, I don't know if you guys have seen the website, like haveibeenpwned.com. It's just like you put your email in there and then it tells you if any security breaches have been associated with your email. And like, sure enough, put my email in there. There's like 5 different security breaches that, people have had access to my password, to whatever. So I'm like, whoa. And I think one of them was like Dropbox, something crazy. And I'm like, yeah, so like, I'm not going to be using that. So like, what can I do? And, after a few different iterations and a bunch of sketches and research, I came across what was version 1 of our security protocol. And just taking the knowledge that I had and what I knew, with my network experience and cybersecurity experience, which isn't as extensive as some people's, but I'm always learning. But I mean, it's maybe more than the average. But and built something on it, and ran it across from a few people that were way smarter than me to get validation and critique. And now we're at a point where I feel like we have a solid foundation for something that is going to be great. And I mean, the community has been awesome with the feedback too. It's one thing I love about Kadena is you can put something out there in this community and ask for feedback, and people are gonna actually go in, test a few things for you, give you legit feedback, and not out of criticism, but out of love, because they want to see something great come out of this too. So, I mean, yeah, that brought across Docushield, and now I think we're at a point where we're going to provide something that is more secure than anything else out on the market right now. And our roadmap has us launching to mainnet at the end of the year, and I think we're on track with that. just we're just getting solid right now and really studying up on Pact and trying to find the right advisors, because we're going to code this stuff, and then I want somebody who's going to be able to look at that code and critique the hell out of it. Besides that, though, we're going to be running bug bounties, to get people to try and break it. That way, if they broke it, we can do the thing where, okay, we identify the problem, go in, isolate that problem, fix it, and then let's go again. So I mean, I definitely want in the beginning us to just be learning, like break this thing, let's see what else we can do, how we can get better.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
nice.
Yeah, but very excited about the progress so far. And yeah, by the end of the year, we're going to be something that's come to life. Like, our MVP or something you guys can actually play with should be, out by the end of this quarter, and then from there, we're just going to keep on building on top of it.
Okay,
Awesome.
well, yeah, that sounds really great. And yeah, the Kadena community is really awesome about giving feedback, and I really love your enthusiasm about your project and as well as about the Kadena community. So you you talked about it earlier in a sentence that you've been looking at competitors like Dropbox. And I can only think about Microsoft, who offers this voting option in OneDrive. Maybe you know about it.
Totally. So I mean, there's tons.
Yeah, and yeah, go ahead.
So crypto and non-crypto, and yeah, I've done a lot of research. You have to do market research. First thing you do is say, all right, what I'm doing, is it, who else is doing it, and how can I do it better, and is it worth even trying? So yeah, we got Dropbox, Drive, OneDrive, iCloud, SugarSync, OwnCloud, NextCloud. That's just like the non-crypto stuff, So all of these people are really in that Web 2 format where all of them have these security vulnerabilities. All of them have been exposed. Now, for the for the crypto space, the only competitor I've really seen, and it was brought to my attention recently, is on Ethereum, and it's LTO. And I see what they're doing. I like it. It's really cool for the security and privacy community, but it's a completely different direction than what we're doing. A different demographic. They're hyper focused on building a platform. Where we, on the other hand, zoomed in and are focused on creating this one thing, and we're going to do this one thing better than anybody else. And we have Pact coding language and proof of work on our side, which is a huge upside in my opinion. So I'd say the major players are the biggest competition that we have right now. So marketing is going to have to be what separates us from everybody else. And the good thing is that there's not much really creative marketing inside of all those huge companies with all that money, those billions that they do spend on it. Nothing has stood out to me like like things that we could be doing when we're talking about security and when we're talking about privacy. Some of the best marketing I've actually seen recently was from Stellar. It's pinned on their Twitter page, but they have this awesome heart, like it just tugs at your heartstrings, this commercial that they put out, and yeah, it gave me chills. So taking a note from their book and all the other marketing experience that I've had, and I think the connections we have over here, we're going to be able to execute the visions that our team has as far as the moving forward with our marketing department goes. Because I mean, yeah, that's going to be a huge part of it. There's a few people doing it in the space. No one's doing it like we are, and let's let people know that and tell people why they need us.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So maybe quickly touch on, like, for, let's say, just regular people who have no connection to crypto, what would be like the main advantage of using Docushield over any other service that exists?
The main advantage is actually just looking at the statistics that are out right now. So right now it's estimated that over 2.5 billion accounts are attacked every year. 2.5 billion. That's a crazy number.
Crazy.
According to the most recent data, that's about 6.8 million accounts every day, 158 accounts every second, getting hacked. So, I mean, and then once they get that info just from one, you know, a lot of people use the same password for everything. I've been guilty of it, you know, definitely in the past of using the same password. Now, though, they hack this one random, you know, Ticketmaster site or something, and they get your email and password. Well, now they can just go to wellsfargo.com and try that out. They can go to Chase and try that out. Whatever bank they think you're with or they know your links to, they can try that out. So we have the benefit of anonymity on our side. So there's a way to create, you know, a private account that you don't have to have a password for. It's just the old school crypto way of doing it. 12 secret words that create your phrase. Put those in, and that's your access, you know. But for the non-crypto people, you know, we do have the traditional way of logging in with email and password, or you could tie your Twitter account or your Google account to it. But we also, of course, have the PIN number or the biometrics or, you know, the 2FA also as options. And then past that, I mean, we just have, when it comes to the actual documents that you're uploading, there's about 4 or 5 stages of encryption and stuff that happens before or while you're using the application. So it's just, I mean, like I said, no one's doing what we're doing, and putting it in simple terms for the everyday user is going to be key for us. And then again, that comes to marketing, and that comes to the user experience. So our interface is going to be simple, straight to the point, you know. And I'm really excited about the UI that we got so far. And when we put it out, I'm looking for the critique of the community to say, hey, maybe we can do it this way, or maybe we can do it that way, just to create the easiest. I want like my grandma to be able to use this, you know, and not have a problem with it, and feel secure on top of that. So does that answer your question?
Yep, definitely, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also saw the sketches of it looks very minimalistic. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
I had like another question that I had in mind, or that popped into my mind earlier today. That is, like, let's talk about illegal content, for example. In
Hmm.
theory, right? You have to correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not that technical
Hmm.
myself. There would be no way of taking content down, right? It's
Yeah, that's a great question. But I mean, there should be no way. There absolutely has to be a way, though. I mean, that's the way. I mean, we're not going to be out here hosting child porn or something like that. You know, that's just something that where you have to think ahead and you have to be ready. So traditional IPFS, no. I mean, there's not really a way that you can completely delete, you know, any of that content. And IPFS for people who don't know is a, it's like a community network that all stores data. The data gets fragmented, and everybody stores a piece of the data, and it's a really decentralized way for users to upload and store, you know, documents. So we're using IPFS, but we're creating private networks out of the IPFS, since it is open source. We're going to be launching our own private networks on Flux. You know, thank you guys at Flux, who are just hella smart, man. And they know what they're doing. They've done this whole node thing already, and they do it great. So we're going to know exactly who's participating inside of these IPFS networks, because they're going to be our node operators or our server operators. So if there does come to a point where we need to get rid of something for legal reasons or whatever, that would have to be extreme, you know, because we do expect, we do respect people's privacy. We would find that CID, which is the content ID that's generated by IPFS, and then reach out to all of our operators in that network to unpin that item from their server or from their node. So that is one way of doing it. I mean, in traditional IPFS, though, you don't know who all of those node operators are, all of those server operators are. You know, in our case, they're all going to be going through us first to get set up. So anybody who wants to launch a node and participate in that, we're gonna know how to contact them, you know, in case that does come up. And we're gonna have them unpin that. We're gonna contact them, let them know, hey, I need you to unpin document so and so with this CID, and send us proof of execution within a certain time frame, or forfeit the rewards, or in the worst case scenario, be taken off the network if you're extremely unresponsive and if it's, you know, a severe case. So I mean, there has to be a way. I mean, just the way it is. But again, we're going to try and avoid that under most circumstances. You know, maybe in the
yeah,
future, though, you know, in the app we'll be able to to create a way for users to delete, their document or their file. And we already have a lot of ideas for how to do that. But again, right now, that's just going to be for extreme cases.
Okay,
that's great.
nice.
Great to hear.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with child porn. You don't want to have this on your notes or service or whatever.
No, absolutely
okay.
not.
Yeah. You were talking about it earlier, I guess, and you also write it in your white paper that you're going to use Kuro, the permission blockchain of Kadena. Can you tell us how you use the public blockchain Chainweb and Kuro for your project?
Yeah, absolutely. So Kadena, the public blockchain is going to be used for all of our monetary transactions. So if it has something to do with payments, it has something to do with swaps, has anything to do with finances at all, that's going to be processed on the Kadena blockchain. That way we can see, okay, this transaction was processed, this was paid for, and that's all good. But we also have contracts that are going to be used in the process of minting your access NFT, and those are going to be on Kuro. Two benefits, for that: it streamlines our process to avoid any congestions or bottlenecking. And I know that Kadena was made to scale and it's made to be fast, but there's only so much that any network can really take. And I might upset a few people by saying that, but it's it's the truth. It's gonna happen. There's gonna be congestion if we grow Kadena to the point where we want it to, and there is mainstream adoption, and hundreds of thousands of people are using this constantly, then it's bound to happen. So that allows us to take all those processes and do them on our private network. And that also provides the ultimate form of privacy, where no one's going to be able to go on the Block Explorer and use the footprints to trace back what's going on. It's going to be just completely in-house and internal, and we like it that way for your guys' ultimate security when it comes to documentation and your whatever you're storing.
Yeah, and speaking of storing, as far as I know, you need the doc token, like to actually pay the fees, right? Or what is the utility behind the token?
Yeah. So great question. So that's going to be one of the main reasons to have the doc token is you're going to be paying for securing each document. Now, we're not going to have a platform where we're charging monthly or anything like that. So if the app is always going to be free, all you got to pay for is which documents you're going to secure. The cost is going to be based on file size, and we're going to break it down by kilobits or kilobytes, and then adding our margin on top for operating expenses. So the doc token is going to be used for that, and also it's going to be used for general staking, for pairing with KDA for liquidity, but that's almost any other coin. Operating nodes is going to be a huge one. So if you're going to be a part of our validating team for our IPFS servers, you're going to need to put down a certain amount of the doc token to run that, and then you'll get your APY on top of that. And if you ever want to withdraw from participation, you'll get that money back, but you need that to stake in order to operate a node. Same thing with clusters on Kuro. So we're going to need validators to participate when we launch Kuro, the private version of Kadena, to validate all these transactions that are happening. And the same thing, when you're operating these clusters, you're going to need to lay down a certain amount of doc token and lock that up to be able to participate and get those rewards.
Awesome, thank you. And I mean, we've been hearing about the doc token now for a bit. Can you tell us anything about when we can expect a doc token, maybe an IDO or anything upcoming?
I wish I could say more about an IDO for sure. Right now, we are definitely in talks, but nothing's been set in stone where I've signed any papers or anything like that. So that's really what I'm waiting for it to be official, where we have this outlined agreement, But we're close and we're there and we're in talks, but I don't really want to say more than that. I can say this about the doc token, though. I mean, when you look at our tokenomics and read through the Medium article that we have on it, a huge part of what we want to do with the doc token is provide stability for it. Now, I know that in the beginning, of course, it's always going to have, that crazy ride as far as volatility goes. But when it comes to mass adoption, one thing that's going to really turn people off is, one day it costs me, 25 cents to host a file. Then the next day, that same file, it's costing me $2 to host. So, we do want the tokenomics are created to, in the long run, create a lot of stability behind it so that we don't have that volatility. And I mean, when you read through, you'll see that there's a lot of places where we lock up tokens, as far as having partners that are going to be operating nodes, as far as us having a certain amount of tokens locked away for operating nodes and, clusters, things like that. So, I mean, we really go into detail in the Medium article. So after I'll, link that in the comments to our follow-up. But yeah, that's the main thing with the doc token. Unfortunately, some people will say, well, it's never gonna moon. It'll have its volatility, it'll have its day, but I don't want it to be scaring anybody. And another thing we're gonna kind of do with selling to the public, or selling through the app, is we're going to be taking a 7-day or a 2-week. I haven't really figured out what exactly we're going to offer when purchasing doc through the app, but we're going to take an average of the token price over the last, let's say, 2 weeks, right? And then we're going to have packages based on that. So we'll have, a package that costs $50 and you get this many doc tokens, a package that costs $100 and you get this many doc tokens. So they'll be able to go and not have to go to an exchange, not have to deal with having Kadena first or anything like that. We're just going to use an on-ramp to run that transaction. And, they can purchase doc right away within the app with their credit card or whatever, and then have it right in their wallet. And that price will be stable for 2 weeks, at least. So trying to present that with, to the public just to make it easy for whoever comes in.
Yeah, sounds awesome. Yeah, for everyone that's interested, you can find the tokenomics in the white paper. So there will be a total supply of 1 billion token and 500 million released at token launch. And but I can see that there are no team tokens, so you don't reward yourself in some sense to be part of the price action. So what's that about?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what our thing is, man, is creating an awesome product, and having the trust of the community. And trust is really earned in one way, it's by earning it. And so, I mean, I don't want people wondering, okay, so they locked up this amount of tokens, for the team. Are they going to dump, or are they just going to lock it up? Like, what's going on with that? No, I mean, we don't need tokens. We need you guys to use the tokens. I don't, we're all going to, the IDOs that we're going to be doing, and to kind of say, we're going to be planning 2 IDOs, one or 2 fundraising rounds. One's going to be initially for the product development and to make sure that we just get the best thing to market that we can with the best devs on it, and go through all the QA we need to. And then the second round is going to be right at our mainnet launch, and that's actually when the liquidity is going to be released to the DEX, and that's going to be at the end of the year, and that's going to be all of the money geared towards marketing, really just getting the mass public involved in this, because it is, when you're going against the big boys, it's going to take deep pockets to be able to do that. But I think that we'll be fine with that because we have something unique. So we don't need the token. What we need is for you guys to utilize the token, and the IDOs and the fundraising rounds and everything that we make, any profits that we make while running the app, that's going to go towards paying the salaries and the payrolls, which is all going to be public information once we do have the IDOs, and we'll talk later about that. But I want to run things pretty transparent, and I want our investors to be comfortable with where things are going. So I mean, in my case, yeah, I'm gonna buy some doc tokens later, and we're gonna lock up. I mean, with our first round of fundraising, we're taking 20% of the KDA that we're gonna raise, and we're gonna lock that up and provide that as liquidity to the DEXs when the token does go live. So we're going to take that 20% that we've raised. We're going to split half of it in Doc, half of it in KDA, and then just give those to the dexes that are out on Kadena. That way, it's providing liquidity, and that's more stability, so that you don't have to worry about us withdrawing that liquidity. We're going to have that locked in and a contract behind it. We're never going to pull that out. We want the long term of the token to live, not, so I just don't want people to worry about pump and dumps or, us dumping when it gets to a high point. And, like I said, we're going to pay our team. So there's no need for us to take anything extra on the top.
Nice. Yeah, that's great to hear, especially with so many rug pulls these days.
Yeah.
That you don't take a part of the tokens. Okay.
Yeah, man. Well, really quick too, that's kind of what gets me about DeFi is the rug pulls and all this stuff where you have a great product and people are making a killing off of transaction fees and you're still going to go and do this. I mean, I've seen people just in my personal life, I've seen people get buried for $100, so when we're talking millions, man, that are stolen from people who are putting everything they have, like, I mean, you're not going to be able to walk around with your head up or not looking over your shoulder. And that's just the repercussions of being shady, So, I mean, that's the most valuable thing to me is being able to walk around freely and not have that anxiety, constantly or just feeling like you're screwing people over. I mean, I don't get it. That's just not how I was raised or the people I associate myself with are. But I mean, it happens every day. And I think it's just because people can hide behind this anonymity of, Web3 that it does happen, which is why, we're going to be out there in the public and you guys can know who I am and where I'm from. And that doesn't matter to me because at the end of the day, there's going to be nothing that's going to cause that to bite me in the ass,
Yeah, absolutely. Nice. So one last question from us, and then we'll give it back to the community. So also in the white paper, you were talking about governance. So after the launch of version 1 of Docushield, you will start a DAO. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so we're definitely going to get into that. When it comes to where our efforts are being allocated, so as far as the DAO as ownership goes, there's a ton of legal stuff that I still need to learn and completely understand. What's the best path for Docushield as a company from a legal standpoint? But I would love to, be publicly owned by all of you guys, the community who's been participating from the get. But we definitely, regardless of where that comes, when we start talking to our lawyers about that specifically, we are going to create a voting solution for all of our token holders, kind of like I don't know if there's any users out there at the Daedalus wallet, but the Daedalus wallet on Cardano, which is another thing. But that notifies you of any upcoming topics that users can vote on. And then it gives you a link later, like, okay, the vote's going to happen in 7 days. And then you scan this QR code, takes you to a website, and then you vote. And I think that's awesome. I want everybody to be able to have a vote on what we're doing and what you guys feel as a community is important to us. And, I think that's one thing that, Cardano is doing right. And yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
Okay, nice.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much already for answering all of our questions. So we would give it back to the community now. If anyone has a question for Docushield or there's anything you're curious about or you don't understand, feel free to just request a speaker voice and I'll make sure that you can ask the question. And if you haven't already, also be sure to follow Docushield and check out their white paper. It's short, but it's very informative. So be sure to check it out.
And we are working on the technical white paper right now. So I mean, the white paper, really, I was like teetering between white paper and light paper for that. And essentially, yeah, it's more of a light paper because what we really want to provide, I wanted something easy to read at first. Now, the next thing we're going to put out is the technical the technical paper about how exactly all this stuff works and, in in a way deeper dive as far as, the security protocol goes. So we'll be on the lookout for that in the next month or two.
So awesome. Will there also be a more technical AMA coming up?
Yes. So I do have my developer will join me on that more technical AMA. And for sure. Definitely will. I don't oppose any technical questions you guys may have. If I can't answer it, I'm gonna just let you guys know, hey, that's something I'm not sure of yet, or whatever. But yeah, I feel like I'm pretty versed on everything that we're doing. There's like people that are way better at breaking it down than I am. So that's what I'm gonna get for the technical white paper that's coming out, because I wrote the last one. I want definitely someone who is who has technical writing experience to write that technical white paper, because that's going to be something that lives on, and we're judged by.
Yeah, I think you gave a great overview about the project, and I'm really looking forward to what's coming next. And yeah, I
Thank you.
guess the community is enthusiastic as well. So,
Awesome.
do we have any questions?
Yep. As I mentioned, if anyone has any question or anything you want to know, or just ask Adrian, just be sure to raise your hand and I can move you up here. And if not, I mean, we've covered a lot, and I'm sure we're going to hear a lot from you in the future. So I'm really, really excited.
And also, I mean, you guys, if you don't want to ask, publicly or whatever, you could find us all day on Discord and on Telegram. My Discord is, if you go into our group, I'm also powerful. OSO powerful POWERFUL, and you could shoot me a direct message. You can go to our support thread. I'm in Telegram. Pretty much, I'm in front of my computer if I'm not changing diapers on the little guy. So yeah, feel free, reach out. I mean, I'm living and breathing this stuff right now, and I know my team is as well, and this is something we're committed and dedicated to, and would love to hear from you guys.
Yeah, definitely sounds like a busy plan you have going on.
Definitely.
Awesome. Well, doesn't seem that there's any questions left. And yeah, as Adrian mentioned, be sure to hit him up if there's any questions left. So just thank you for everyone tuning in. Also for Adrian for joining this. This is our first ever Twitter space, by the way. So yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Thank you guys for having me be a part of your first Twitter space. Appreciate it.
Was an honor.
Yeah, thanks for being our guest, man.
Absolutely, anytime.
And yeah,
all right.
I guess we'll hear each other sometime else.
Yeah, thank you guys again, and I'll go ahead and close out right now then.
Awesome.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
Have a good night. Bye bye.
Have a great day, everyone.
Good day.
Bye.
Good day, good night, whatever time it is.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.